Hello there, and welcome once again to the Mayor's Magazine. I'm Mick Cornett, the mayor of Oklahoma City, and this is our show for June 2012. Well, as you know, in Oklahoma City, when it comes June, it comes time to start thinking about softball. And Ron Radagonda is here. He is the executive director of the ASA and USA Softball. Welcome to the Mayor's Magazine.
Thank you, Mayor Cornett. Appreciate it.
Boy, this event has grown, and not just in 20 years. It has grown in 5 years, and with an amazing group of partners. So what's your take on the explosiveness nature of this event?
Well, you're actually right. It really has grown tremendously. You know, I've been here 14 years, heading up ASA USA Softball. You know, my honor to be here, to be a part of that. The first year I was here, the College World Series drew 24,000 fans. Last year we drew 67,000 fans. So the numbers are pretty remarkable. We're seeing sellouts on some of our evening events, the Fridays and Saturdays, but there's always good seats available. It's a great relationship between the city, the Convention Bureau, and Oklahoma City All-Sport Association. We collectively put together our best efforts to bring this event here, and I've been very proud to have this event here for many, many years.
Yeah. And ESPN's been a great partner too, because anecdotally I will get text messages and email from friends in other parts of the country every June that says they're sitting in some random bar somewhere and they're watching softball from Oklahoma City and exposed to it seemingly for the very first time.
Absolutely, I love the fact that we get that live from Oklahoma City every time they lead into the games. Right now, there's 64 teams that have been selected to play in the playoffs to get here. So the road to Oklahoma City will start this weekend. We're excited about that. It'll be followed up the following weekend by the Super Regionals, where they'll determine which 8 teams will be here in Oklahoma City starting on Thursday the 31st. So we're very excited about that. And the fact is that, yeah, the fan base and what ESPN has brought to this event has been tremendous, and the exposure that we get out of the game of softball is just tremendous because of the Women's College World Series.
When you consider the number of fans that we're getting and frequently selling out, and the number of media that come in and the infrastructure that has to be available for that, it sounds like it might be time to start looking at expanding the stadium and spending some money out there.
Absolutely it is. We've gotten to the point now where we bring in 3,000 additional seats. We reach almost 10,000 on max attendance on some of the sessions that we run. So it is time to do that, and it's also time to be able to accommodate the media a little bit better than we can right now. I think in our wildest dreams, when we built the facility back in the mid-'80s, we had no idea that we would be drawing 10,000 people for a single session of any game of softball. So it's time for us to make some definite changes there.
And you've got other events after the Women's World Series. You've got other events coming to your
Oh,
stadium.
absolutely. In June, in the month of June, in that time frame of that 30-day period of time, we're going to be having 14 days of events, not only from the Women's College World Series, but we're doing a celebration of the 40th year of Title IX this year, which is a really big part of why softball's growth has been a part of the collegiate scene. And that game will be televised on ESPN. It'll be a special game with Canada. And then we followed it up on the 27th with some men's slow pitch, which we're bringing in as well as one of the disciplines of our game. And then the 7th World Cup of Softball will be here, followed up with 6 teams coming in internationally. And we have the Netherlands, Canada, the United States, Brazil, Puerto Rico, and Australia all coming here to play over that weekend, and we're looking forward to really another big show for Oklahoma City.
Now, is that fast pitch or slow pitch?
That's women's fast pitch, but we also have a sort of a component of that where we bring Canada down, who has a very good men's slow pitch team, and we actually bring our best men's players in, and we play what we call the Border Battle, which is an event of men's slow pitch against Canada. This will be the 3rd year we've had that event here in Oklahoma City.
And how does that draw?
It draws well, and the thing that's interesting is we did well over 600,000 households on television last year with that game. So it has a real following because there's over 110,000 adult slow pitch teams in the United States under our umbrella. So with those numbers, if you just add 12 people per team, we're talking about 1.2 million players who play. So the idea of them being able to see the best in their discipline of the sport of softball has really gone over well.
And an average score in a game at that level would be what?
Oh, it's in the 30s. It can get into that 30 range, because they're allowed only 10 home runs, which is an interesting component of the game.
Explain that. What do you mean there?
Well, if you just let the teams have unlimited home runs, we would be out there a very long time because they can all hit the ball a long, long way. So the idea, the strategy is you have to get runners on base and then use your home run so that you're driving in more than one solo shot home run. So it's really helped the game because it's managed the time frame of the game. We played last year's game in just under 2 hours, which makes it a really enjoyable, entertaining event.
And so they have to try and get runners on base to maximize the ability of the home runs.
Absolutely.
And is that rule change working? Would you tweak it anymore, or do you think
I think where we're at right now, it's working really well. I think it's been a good component of the game, and it's really improved the quality of the men's slow pitch game. And in the old days, when there was unlimited home runs, you would see scores in the 60s and 70s,
right,
which really turned into a game that was not very competitive.
What parts of the country are producing the best men's softball players?
They actually come from all parts of the country. I mean, and one of the things, even on our women's fast pitch, which at one time was predominantly California and Arizona, it really has spread now to the rest of the country. And we're seeing some players, Chelsea Thomas, who throws at Missouri, who has been at the College World Series, has played on our national team, comes from a very small town, of less than 10,000 people in the Midwest. So those are the kinds of things we're seeing now, is we're seeing players from all over the United States making our national team, both on the men's and the women's side.
About a minute left. Let's get back to the Women's World Series. How can people get tickets or take part in the event?
They can go online to Oklahoma City All Sport. All that information is there for them. They can order their tickets. There's always walk-up at events as well. I think that's one of the good things about softball. It's a good walk-up event. So if you find yourself with something needing to do some evening with your family, come on out to the ballpark.
And is the format the same as it's been the last few years?
It is. There's 8 teams involved in it. They play in 2 pools, and then they get their way down to the 2 elimination pools, allow us to have the 2 winners, and they come out and play a 2 out of 3 on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday if necessary.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those are big nights out at the softball complex. Ron Radaganda, thanks very much. Ron is the executive director of ASA USA Softball, does a wonderful job promoting Oklahoma City and the sport of softball to the rest of the world. We appreciate him coming on the Mayor's Magazine today, and we'll be right back with more after this.
Say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. So mama, have a good time. One book reads not only helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
In Oklahoma, the sights and sounds of severe weather are all too familiar. Do you know what to do when you hear an outdoor warning siren?
I'm Frank Barnes, Oklahoma City Emergency Manager. In Oklahoma City, the sirens sound to warn you that weather conditions may produce a tornado.
That's your signal to take shelter and seek information about where severe weather could strike.
And remember, an all-clear signal does not sound. Always monitor the weather conditions until the threat has passed.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Magazine. I'm Mick Cornett, the mayor of Oklahoma City. And in this second segment of this month's show, we're going to visit with Wendell Wisenhunt. He's the Parks Director. Welcome to the Mayor's Magazine, Wendell.
Thank you, Mayor, thank you very much.
And a lot of activity in the summer, especially for the kids. Can you talk about the Play in the Park program and how many people take part in that and what the Park Department does?
We have 25 different sites where we offer that program. It's essentially a supervised playground program where children can spend the whole day outside and occasionally inside where we have an inside facility nearby. They're well supervised. They're involved in activities, aerobic activities and games all day. It's a great alternative to watching TV all day, a great alternative to that.
Well, and our Parks Department has come a long way in the last 20 years, largely under your direction. Talk about some of the improvements that you've seen under your watch.
Well, we're serving many, many more people in Oklahoma City. And frankly, Mayor, we're serving a lot of people who come to see us as tourists, and that's a brand new thing. The advent of the Bricktown Canal and tourism and what we can do with the folks coming to see us, it's just changed the park system. We've also built a number of new parks, and they are regional parks where citizens can go and spend the whole day rather than just short visits. We've also changed our aquatic system completely. Where we had a large number of pools that were very poorly attended, we now have 5 pools that are very heavily attended, and we have 17 spray grounds that we have more than 300,000 visits to each summer. It's just amazing. We
went a long time in this city without really investing in the capital needs of the park system. We've made up for that.
Yes,
back in '95 and 2000, 2007 bond issue, and then MAPS and MAPS 3. Talk about how those dollars have been spent and where we've tried to isolate our capital dollars to try and really make up for some deferred maintenance issues, but also really build a park department that we can all be proud of.
Well, we've built 70 playgrounds. Many of those parks that those playgrounds are in now didn't even have a playground, and many of them replaced playgrounds that were very antiquated. And we've been very careful to build playgrounds that really cause the kids to be active. 2 of our most exciting playgrounds are the one that has been built with the help of the Lions at Lake Hefner on the east side near the trail. It's a fully universal playground that all the children of the community can use. And another one that we've recently completed at Martin Park is built as if it was made a part of the forest. It really blends in, and the children really love that. We've also engaged in a lot of new programs that have brought a lot of kids primarily, but adults as well, into the park system, such as our fishing programs. We serve thousands of children in our fishing program with the help of the state wildlife department. It's really brought great numbers of children into a sport that they haven't been engaged in before.
And our tennis and golf facilities have been improved.
Yeah, we've renovated both Early Wine and Will Rogers tennis facilities, and tennis is really back and doing quite well. We're very pleased about that. Tennis had waned for a while, and our system had really gone down, but we're back in a large way.
And our golf courses are
beautiful golf courses, very beautiful golf courses, very reasonable prices, heavily used by those who live in Oklahoma City and those who live nearby. We've built 2 family aquatic centers, which are the bulk of our attendance. Frankly, as much as 70% of the attendance of the whole system is at those 2 pools, and they're a great buy. For $6, a child or an adult can go to one of our family aquatic centers and spend the whole day.
Mm-hmm. That is a good buy.
Having a good time, too.
And are we talking thousands of visits a year?
We have about 140,000 visits at our pools each year, and more than 300,000 visits at our spray grounds, our 17 spray grounds. It's a lot of kids and adults.
How can people find out the closest spray ground or the closest regional park to them?
Well, you can go to okc.gov and find out everything there is to know about the Oklahoma City Parks Department, or of course you can call us at 297-2211, and we'll be glad to talk to you about the park system. We'll mail you a guide if you ask for one as well.
Now, we've been talking mostly here about parks that are in the suburbs and in the neighborhoods. We also have some high-profile parks downtown, one at the Botanical Gardens that has opened, and then one that we're building between Civic Center Music Hall and City Hall that is under construction but will open up later this year. Talk about your impressions of the Botanical Gardens.
The Botanical Garden renovation has been very successful. It was a very challenging project. It totally changed the garden, and it is much more accessible than it was. There are a lot more things to do there now. There's more programming. Myriad Gardens Foundation is doing a great job there helping us operate that garden. It is a project that is world-renowned. In my field, I get calls constantly from other professionals wanting to know more about that project. We're also finishing the renovation of Will Rogers Garden in northwest Oklahoma City, 36th and I-44. It's our second botanical garden, and it's recently had the Arboretum Trail finished with the help of funding from both the bond issue funds as well as the Community Foundation. And soon, as a matter of fact, now if you wish, you can use that trail to walk out through the Arboretum for both looking at what beauty we have there as well as exercise. We're finishing the renovation of the Ed Lykin Conservatory there as well, another indoor botanical garden.
The Botanical Gardens downtown is quite unique, and when I went to the children's area, I was very surprised to see there were no swing sets, no teeter-totters, no slides as we know them.
Yes.
And I took my granddaughter there, who's about to turn 5, and the biggest problem was I couldn't get her to leave, and we've gone twice now, and both trips have been extended long after I expected that she would tire or I would tire, and we would leave. And I guess my question is that it seems to have greatly exceeded what we thought that park might offer, but the design is so unique. And how did all that come about, and who had the vision to say that that park that you and I may have grown up in might not exactly be the park that the next generation is looking for?
There's a whole new science in my field called play value, and the play value that is offered by a design is carefully analyzed before anything's built, and that's exactly what's happened at the Myriad Gardens. The play value is very high. We don't think like children so much anymore, but there are some adults that do a great job of continuing to think like a child, and they are the designers of what you see at the Myriad Gardens and in the other parts of the park system as well.
Well, and kids get a lot of exercise in that park, and then if it's a nice day, the water feature is available, and water comes up from the bottom, and then water pulls from the top. And as I can vouch, your child may get very, very wet.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you might want to bring a change of clothes if it's a
Yes.
hot day and you intend to be down there very long.
The water features there are beautiful and exciting for the kids.
We do not say thank you enough to you and your staff. So thank you on behalf of the citizens of Oklahoma City. We really appreciate the great additions that the park system has had and the management that takes place out there.
Thank you.
Wendell Wisenut is the Parks Director for the City of Oklahoma City. More on the Mayor's Magazine when we get back.
Did you buy the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yup.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes.
The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Visit ready.gov.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Magazine. As the temperatures get warmer, it's time to find your old tennis racket and get out there on our courts. We have so many great opportunities for tennis in the city of Oklahoma City, and Steve Henry's here to tell us about it. He is a USTA tennis professional, and he operates or manages both of our large tennis facilities at Earlywine and at Will Rogers. Welcome to the Mayor's Magazine.
Thanks for having me.
Tennis is doing well in Oklahoma City.
I think so. I think it's on the rise. Tennis play is up. Our facilities are looking good, attracting a lot of players.
Now, let's talk first about the facility at Earlywine. How many courts are there, and what type of activity are you getting?
Well, we have 12 courts there. Actually, right now, 8 courts are being resurfaced, so 8 of the 12 have been currently resurfaced. It's looking really good. We have summer camps coming in the summer, after-school programs for kids, adult lessons, groups, privates.
Yeah, I want to cut you off there because I think a lot of people may think, I don't want to get out and embarrass myself. It's been a long time. What type of lesson opportunities are out there for someone who may just be a little bit rusty?
Well, there's definitely the beginner lesson. There's intermediate lesson. The private lesson, you can get out there and be by yourself, not necessarily have to embarrass yourself in a whole group. But sometimes a group dynamic with more people around is good as well. So we offer groups and privates and beginner intermediates.
And you mentioned kids.
Kids, got a lot of kids activities coming with tournaments. Junior team tennis is kind of a league format for juniors. 14 and under, 18 and under play will begin in June. So we offer those as well, as long as after-school programs. It starts right up after the school.
Is the activity growing in South Oklahoma City?
I definitely believe it. I go back so far when Earlywine was built. May Avenue and 119th was 2-lane road, and it's really boomed and grown out in that area, and so the need for tennis courts and programming has grown as well.
All right, now let's talk about the Will Rogers Tennis Center, which is I think the highest profile tennis center in the state.
Sure.
And a host of a lot of statewide events. In May, you host just about every one of the high school championships. Can you talk about this past year and what the kids saw when they came out?
Sure. We just completed the boys and girls state high school championships. It's all done at one site. Girls is one weekend, followed by the boys. All classes, 4A, 5A, 6A, at one location. It's a neat event because it is a 2-day event, but bringing in all the classes together at one site. Most of the high schools have tents, and there's a big carnival out there. We'll average maybe 1,500 to 1,800 spectators a day, and it really packs the facility up. It's exciting.
And there's an economic impact to that. I mean, we typically think of tennis as being a recreational opportunity for people that live here, but that tennis center is bringing in people who come to our town and spend a few days and spend some money.
Most definitely. We had teams from all over the state, so you had teams from Bartlesville, Enid, Tulsa, Altus, and they're all, having hotel room stay. So it's definitely some tourism dollars coming in.
What about play outside of your tournament events? Just normal everyday play. You see that increasing at the Will Rogers Tennis Center?
We're about overloaded there. I don't think we can increase anymore. We're pretty packed. We have leagues every night. Usually 20 courts of USTA leagues 4 nights a week. League play on Sunday. Recreational leagues on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we've got a lot of people participating, utilizing the facility in league play, and of course our tournament play and private and group lessons.
Now you mentioned recreational play. If someone says, I'm not any good, you've heard them say that. I don't know that I could get into a league, but sometimes it's hard to find someone to play. And a league can really be perfect for someone who wants to play but doesn't necessarily have a partner who's of their playing ability.
We have those recreational leagues, and it's a great way just to get your face out there, meet other people, kind of network. So that way you do have a group of people to call and know and who to hit with and just get out there and play.
That's terrific. And there are lessons for kids at that facility too.
Lessons for kids, junior team tennis there as well. A lot of tournaments coming up. We just hosted our professional tournament last month, which brought in players from 20 different countries. It was a men's $15,000 event. It's the second year we've had it. And we're about to have, we're going to be averaging 3 tournaments a month all the way through the summer, different levels of tournaments, Missouri Valley tournaments, national tournaments. It's going to be a very busy summer.
Well, how can people find out more information about what you have to offer?
Well, we have, you can call us at 946-2739. We have a website, Oklahoma OKC Tennis Center at att.net, or excuse me, OKCTennisCenter.net. And the city website, okc.gov, also has a link.
All right. Steve Henry is a USTA teaching professional and manages our facilities at both Early Wine and Will Rogers so admirably. Thanks very much for coming on the Mayor's Magazine.
Thank you.
And I urge you to go to our city's website and also the tennis website and get out and hit the ball around this summer. Make this the summer that you make your tennis comeback. We have one more segment in the Mayor's Magazine, and it's after this.
Reliable source.
Hey you, you're over 45. Is your computer nearby? And you, need to lose a few pounds? Is your smartphone handy?
Here's something you're gonna wanna do during this commercial. Go here. See the next button? Click it. Answer the questions. And use your real age. Next question. Keep going. Just a few more. Last question. Yes, you have to enter your weight. I won't look. There's your risk for developing type 2 diabetes. It could threaten your life, so take this seriously. Go online and find out your risk, or call 1-800-DIABETES and take the test with a live operator. It takes less than a minute and it's free. Find out how you can stop diabetes before it stops you. To learn more, visit diabetes.org/take-a-minute.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Magazine. In this final segment, we're going to visit with Jennifer Gooden. She is the Director of the Office of Sustainability. Welcome to the Mayor's Magazine.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You have a most exciting project getting ready to launch. In fact, as we air this show, it's already launched. It's called Spokies. Tell us about it.
Spokies is Oklahoma City's bike share program. We're launching it this Friday. It's a program to make bicycles available to the public, to help them get around downtown and make it an alternative to an automobile.
Now, the idea, literally is you don't have to own a bike. You can just borrow one. And, I think if you're kind of new to the mechanics of one of these systems, you'd think, how can that work? Why won't all the bikes get stolen the first day? Well, explain the system as it operates.
Okay. Well, the way it works is you join with a membership, and you can do that in 3 ways. You can get a daily membership for $5, or if you're downtown a lot more, if you're an employee or resident in downtown, then you can choose a monthly membership for $20 or an annual membership for $75. And once you buy that membership, you can use the bicycles an unlimited number of times for 30-minute rides. So, for example, if I work downtown, I could jump on a bike at the library and ride to Bricktown and check it in for lunch, have my lunch, and then grab a bike and ride back to my office downtown, and those would both be free rides for me. Yep. And then that ride is, your membership is backed up by a credit card, so that's why the bikes don't get stolen, is because the person who's checked them out is responsible and accountable for the bicycle.
Now, the idea is to use these bicycles for transportation, not necessarily recreation or exercise, hence the 30-minute time limit on delivering. But the idea is that you pick up a bike at one of the stations and you have to drop it off at one of the other stations. And then when you're through with your trip, you can get back on that bike at that same station and come back.
Exactly.
And the 6 stations are located roughly where?
I can give you all 6 of them.
Okay.
One of them is at 10th.
I was afraid to put you on the spot because I was afraid you hadn't had it memorized. So
I've
you
been
do
working
have
on
it
it for a
memorized.
while.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
One is at 10th and Walker, at downtown in front of the downtown
Okay, so
library.
10th and Walker is the Midtown area.
Midtown,
that's
yeah.
kind of had a revitalization all
Yeah,
of
a lot
its
of
own.
restaurants,
Walker and 10th. Okay.
entertainment area
Got it.
there. Downtown at the downtown library.
Okay, which
So-
is right by City Hall, just
Exactly.
across the street on Park Avenue.
across the street
Okay.
at the west end there. At the memorial.
At the bombing memorial on 5th.
Yeah, it will be on
and Harvey.
4th on the south side on that broad sidewalk there.
Okay, 4th Street is right next to the memorial. All right, where else?
And then there will be one at the southwest corner of the Cox Convention Center that will serve the arena, the Myriad, and the convention center. So it's
Okay,
a large station.
Southwest corner of the Cox Center. So that's right there on Ron Norick Boulevard. We're not far from the old I-40
Yeah.
expressway and right by the sports arena.
Exactly, right
Okay,
on Reno. I
got
think
it.
we'll see a lot of use there. One at the Bricktown Ballpark, and that will serve
Everybody
Bricktown.
knows where that is.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last one will be at Deep Deuce, near the Native Roots apartment that's being, Native Roots grocery store that's going in there.
Okay, and is that on Northeast 2nd?
It is, 2nd and Walnut.
2nd and Walnut, so right at the top of the hill, or the old bridge that leads down into Bricktown.
Yeah, and we'll soon have a hotel and retail and residential right in that corner.
A number of other cities have gone before us with these. This is our kind of entry into this. What sort of reaction have other cities had? Did it meet expectations? Did it suffer? Did it exceed? What's been their experience?
Most of them have seen higher growth than anticipated. It's been wildly popular. We hear a lot of people talk about D.C. and Minneapolis, Minnesota, but there are bike share programs in many American cities and abroad, and the participation and ridership has generally exceeded expectations.
And how many bikes are we going to have in the Oklahoma City system?
Ours will be just under 100 bikes, almost 100 bicycles, and we'll have those 6 stations.
And are they equally divided up, the same amount of bikes at each station, or does it really?
No, they vary by size. We have the 100 bicycles, and then the stations have 150 slots, so that it maximizes your chance of having an empty spot when you return them. But they vary. Those at the Bricktown Ballpark and the Convention Center are the largest, and then they move. They're down smaller on some of the other stations that aren't quite so central to the activity in Oklahoma City.
Are these bikes very complicated to operate? Are there lots of gears and lots of things you have to learn?
No, this is a bike. Anybody who can ride a bike can ride one of these. It's a very sturdy bicycle. It's from a company that's actually made in the United States, where they're manufactured here. Single speed bike, so there's no gear shifting that needs to happen, and it's a really simple lever that you move to just lift the seat height up and down, so it can accommodate people of different heights.
If a person rides a bike and then they don't quite think it's operating correctly, or there's tires low on air, what do they do to alert the system that this bike needs some sort of attention?
When they bring it back, they can flag it for maintenance, and that will, in our system, which operates all electronically, will then lock that bike down so that it can't be checked out again.
Like you all have thought of everything.
We tried.
All right, Jennifer, thanks very much. Let's give the website information that people need to go to.
Yeah, you can go to spokiesokc.com.
Spokiesokc.com, and then what'll happen then?
And that's where you can learn about the program. You can see a map of where all the stations are and get an idea if it's a program that you're interested in. And then if you would like to, you can also sign up for your membership online. That's one way to do it. And if that's the case, then you'll get your membership card mailed to you. The alternative is if you'd like to sign up for just a single day membership, you can use your credit card and sign up directly at a kiosk.
Okay, and you can sign up yearly or monthly or daily. And if you don't get the bike there in 30 minutes or for whatever reason you don't get it checked in, what's the penalty?
There are a couple options. You can either return it back within the 30 minutes and there's no charge, or if you decide you'd like to keep it longer and take a little bit of a ride, then you can pay $2 per extra half hour that you have to keep it checked out longer.
Okay, and the credit card's in the system and you'll just be billed accordingly.
Yep.
Jennifer Gooden does a wonderful job, not only with Spokies, but a lot of other opportunities that we have to continue to build a more sustainable city and an operation. So we appreciate your work on a daily basis.
Thank you.
And her ability to drive attention to this wonderful program that hopefully will get people out of their cars and onto their bikes. I hope you're one of those people that take part in the program this summer. That's going to do it for this edition of the Mayor's Magazine. I'm Mick Cornett, the Mayor of Oklahoma City. We'll be back next month with another show. See you then.
Stop. Whether it's on the way to school, at school, or online, bullying has become a non-stop threat to our youth today. Is your child being bullied? The National Runaway Switchboard can help. If you're having a hard time, get online or call to chat now.
I'm Lee Criswell with Street Maintenance. Help us while we repair your city streets. Please slow down and be alert in all work zones.